Julius Malema calls out Jacinta on live TV debate. Tensions erupted during a heated live television debate as Julius Malema strongly confronted Jacinta over controversial political and immigration issues. The exchange quickly turned into one of the most talked about moments on national TV, with both figures refusing to back down. Before we continue, please kindly subscribe, like and comment your opinion below. Malema criticized Jacinta's position, arguing that her remarks were misleading and harmful, while Jacinta defended her views and pushed back against his accusations. Their fiery clash sparked intense reactions both in the studio and across social media, with supporters on both sides debating who came out on top. As the debate continues to fuel public discussion, many South Africans are asking whether this confrontation will have a lasting impact on the country's political landscape. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments whose arguments you found more convincing.
Because Jesus Christ cannot share the little we have. But bantoile kere ko bona leskalwa le ma Zimbabwe le Mozambique le are bengin twetiri agishanen re bonchaning direction. How do you hate someone who says let's unite? I'm not saying let's divide. Let's unite. Re bana ba modimo kaofela. We've got the same problems kaofela. We are being hated as black people all over the world kaofela. Abatsibi Zimbabwe, abatsibi Nigeria, abatsibi Ghana, abatsibi Africa. Or I'm from South Africa. But how is Lagos? You can go anywhere in the world. You can go to China, you can go to America, you can go to London. They don't know South Africa, they know Africa. Banana or in Taiwan. That's why they treat us all the same. There's no South African who get treated better than a Ghanaian in China. You are all black, you are going to be treated the same. You are all black, you are all hated. Le rebale tloile le family ye ya bogatsu le lena le fitle ka mo family le tloyane amongst yourself. When there is an enemy out there that is dividing you, you can still afford to come inside your family. Rakhadia siena ke moloi le le khulela primrose ke suspect ya mo suspect ha ke ya o botsa. How ka kwa o mongwe mo family nga bua yona ntho ya o saeo o tsebe gore wo a siena. This one is not part of us. La rakgadi a ka etsa ntho re bo mana re tsebamo. We don't know anything. Ya o ja engwa e noni is not your responsibility. Di tloele modimo o tloele o divider family ya bogatsu ka lina la primrose. The same way you divide Africans, a common problem. Here tshwantse re unite and face the enemy. You can't say the Bogatsu family must unite and become one united family, solid like a rock, and leave that family that you say it must unite and come out of that yard and divide the continent and the country. If you value the unity of your family, you will value the unity of the family called Africa. We can never allow a situation or lebetema Zimbabwe le abolai. Now you can hate me for that. Lebabeti lebat nameti di bus ba dile ba tsamaile. Stay la on a land. O sanda ka back room mo Zimbabwe a tsamaile. A go le problem ya e kosa ke ma Zimbabwe. Awa di bus ba nametse ngwana mma ba esengo ba ba paletseng go tsamaya. Ba sale mo mosina ba sa ba diela plan ya utswa. Mara wena o sala ka back room. O bontsha gore ba o buditse maka. Ba re ma Zimbabwe a ka tsamaya. Dilo tšao di tloloka ba o divert. Le wena o divertega easily. O nyaka lefase, wa o nyaka lefase o nyaka street. Go bona o nna ka mo ga bogatsu ka mo o sena lefatshe o le motho fela o e tshwanela le nna ba re o swantse o tshwara meeting wa o boloka Primrose batho ba sa tla ba tswa bo Rustenburg batho ba ba le mafatshe bo Mahikeng kwa wena o nna mo villageng ka mo ae ka mo o thoma ka o propose a date before ba le ba fitla ba o una lefase or ba le ba o una lefase ba fitle wena o re be ke nana re mmoloke Saturday le tshwere meeting o sena lefase thoma bo mmao pele ba re a o khomole batho ba bolela batho ba modimo a o khomole ngo khomole why ba o khomotsa a ona sa ngwana mma that's why o swantse o joine ntwa ya rena o lwela lefase o re le wena o kgone o kry-a setulo mo tafoleng go bolela o be respected o be dignified your input must be valued why makgowa ba tlo re dumella o vote ba re no black people can vote first option they gave us was only those who own property that's what property does Erko wena a re lwele lefase re lwela gore o own property how own a property your dignity is restored. It doesn't matter your sister who comes from an informal settlement without windows, without a toilet. The fact that unako informal settlement ba file mabala ki EFF, her value in the family changes. That's what the land does. We want to restore the dignity of our people. White people who walk here in Rustenburg, eba tsama o ba shebe ba tsama. O mona re motho le fasile o le gata without a doubt. Tsama so atla so o shifta wena. Because when you doubt yourself because you don't have property. Lo khwala o se ruta in illiterate, it's a maso ka shoti ya khaki le hemp it's a maso. Le kopana mo toropong o bona o shifta e bile o kitisha window shopping hore o tshaba le khwale ha o tsena ko shopong ko comments a ke tsore salona na DP ka hore no tsamamo o tsena comments shopo ya searchiwa you are not there no staying Utana fela o kra ba se chaba to bare phone itimeji inside the shop you ba se chaba. You have nothing to do with that. But because you don't have property and you know that you are a suspect because you are propertyless. Utana le batim fela ba re batlana le phone. Wa ke search wena self na ke tsibi na Why do you do that? It's psychological. You have no property, therefore you are a suspect. You can steal a phone because you've got nothing to lose. That's why they treat you like that. We want to give all of you property so that you don't doubt yourself. And Patrice Motsepe must join in that struggle. Because you can't own property alone as a black person and expect that they will respect you alone. Aba Motsepe. Akatsena Alexander, Patrice Motsepe, or Atsena ko Santane. Unale problem. He's going to be the first suspect. Why? He's black. Abatsena Patrice Motsepe. So that's why I'm saying all of us black people are treated the same. Until someone says, not this one, man. This one has got a mine. This one has got a farm. But sorry. But at the beginning, they treated you the same. So the liberation of black people is not an individual struggle. That you have achieved alone is not an achievement until others achieve. That's a Renyaka bo my soul ba utala holwe ka muka. Way one is not enough. It's not enough. One Patrice Motsepe is not enough. We need a collective liberation. That's why Patrice Motsepe ha vote ya leti. Re vote ka moka. Mara o jiwa o ja ena leti. Why? That's what we're fighting against. So, comrades, do not fear the future. Because the future is the ownership of what belongs to you. Lefatshe le ke la rena le. There's no one who came from Europe a tshwere lefatshe ka bag. No one. And we are not going to join forces with people who are saying you must not own property so that they can continue to disrespect you and exploit you. Mesebetsi e etsang ke the other African brothers and sisters. It's not because lena alenya ku e etsa mesebetsi you know your worth. You know your rights. You know you're not going to be paid with wine during harvesting season in Stellenbosch. They take our brothers from Africa and the whole continent, bring them there. Wine. South Africans are lazy. We're not lazy. Appointment letter. To start with, there must be an appointment letter that outlines that I'm employed and these are my benefits. Sanjiti bekamara lengwalo, level medical aid, level pension fund, or yo chofala o buela hae Limpopo. Baska fita ba ro ferije ke basadi ba Johannesburg ana selo. Khane a ka fetsa ke basadi ke ferije ke di security company. Nedi chenchana ka nna mo gating ya masipala ke bereka masipale mara ke bereka private company a tender I chenchana the company dia chenchana ka nna a ke na pension fund a ke na medical aid. I've got no rights, therefore no leave, nothing. How ka kula mosebetsi o fedile, you are easily replaceable. Hence the insourcing of all those who work in government buildings, like this building, Speaker. There should not be a cleaner here who comes from a private company. Why should Masipala outsource cleaning? Clean every day. This is not a rare skill. Employ us directly and give us the benefits. Rebe permanent. Retsbor le rena ro nafasi. Rena le chelete ye re tla ikriya bo marna le bo paparna ba jilo matso ba re ke di cleaner our ma o bereka ka re ke bereka masipale a tsebo ra bereka masipale ke di private company di chenchana ka ena so. We need insourcing. Any government of Rustenburg that comes on the 4th of November must be a government that says, I'm going to create permanent jobs for everybody who's working in the municipality.
Jacinta has finally responded to Julius Malema following their heated public exchange. Defending her position, she dismissed his criticism and insisted she would not be intimidated by political pressure. Her response has sparked fresh debate online, with supporters and critics weighing in on the confrontation. What do you think about Jacinta's reaction? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.
Hi guys, I haven't recorded a video in a very long time, but I did say I would record one for the issue on Begin Bilumbedzi, as well as the 31st July protest of Zimbabwe. I've received a lot of criticism from South Africans who are claiming that we're getting ourselves involved in Zimbabwe's issues, whereas we haven't solved our own issues, and to them it doesn't make sense. And I've just got one request. I'm just going to ask for you guys, when we speak, to please listen to what we say as a movement. Don't dilute it with things that other people say or whatever the case might be. Because I've seen a lot of people claiming that, for example, we said that all immigrants must leave the country, whether documented or undocumented. Some of them have claimed that we have been promoting violence. There's a lot of things, which obviously we can't deal with propaganda and misinformation now. There's a lot going on, which is why I'm asking you guys, when we speak, listen to what we say as a movement. Don't listen to what people say we said, you know. If there's no evidence of us saying it, please don't listen to it, okay? So here's the point of what I'm saying. From inception, from the get-go, from day one, we have always been consistent in the principle that we do not want any immigrants who are leaving this country, from any country for that matter, especially African countries, to leave and then leave in body bags, for example. We want them to leave in peace, and we want them to leave. And when they leave, the message remains, they go home and they fix their countries. That has always been the message. It's been consistent. It's never changed. So we're not saying go home in Zimbabwe and starve. We're not saying go home and start doing crime. That's not what we want. We're saying when you go to your country, go home, fix your country, make sure that it works, not just for you, but for the future of that country, your children, and also of the entire continent, because that's the objective of what we want to achieve. Now, it doesn't take away from the fact that we want illegal immigrants to go. We want foreigners to go who are in the country fraudulently, who are here using the wrong reasons, who are committing crimes and all of those things. We insist on that. That doesn't change, because our country can't be a playground for all kinds of people who have messed up their own countries and now want to come to South Africa and bring that entire mess here. You know, we've seen the many incidents that people are trying to gaslight us about when it comes to the issue of foreigners and illegal immigrants and the behavior that they have in our country. We've seen zamazamas and the destruction that they've brought to our communities, to families, you know, and we've seen even the drug dealers who are thriving in communities. We've seen the hijacked buildings. We've seen the crime. We've seen even the labor laws being broken in the country, where modern day slavery has become a thing. But that does not mean that we do not want them to go back to their countries and fix their country. Now, the important thing about Zimbabwe is that Zimbabweans are fighting an oppression that we also know and we see. And some of them are here running away from that very same problem, which is what we are advocating for Zimbabweans to stop doing. You can't keep running away from your problems because you're saying you don't have freedom in your country. South Africans had to die for this country to be where it is today. And one of the other things that I did mention was the fact that, you know, if Black people can fight, oppression, colonialism. I know Zimbabwe was the first country to actually get its independence in Africa. So if they were able to do that and they were able to thrive and overcome all of that, why can't they now fight the same oppression just by a different skin color? So do we only see oppression when it comes from white people, even when our own people who are Black like us are oppressing us? We're saying we're going to fold our arms and act like we're helpless. That's not what we want. We want Zimbabweans to go to Zimbabwe, and whatever oppression, whatever issues that they feel they need to fight against, they must fight against. We are saying that our only role is to support. We can't go to Zimbabwe and fight for Zimbabweans, but we want Zimbabweans to fight whatever it is that they feel they need to fight, and we have to offer them protection. Now, if they feel that they don't have protection from their own government, and that includes them being persecuted or abused in any manner, then we need to step up as brothers and sisters. That is what it means to be a brother and sister. It doesn't mean that we're going to neglect our own fight and saying that Zimbabweans who are in South Africa illegally must go and fight for their country or and fight against their government. That's not what it means. It means that we're saying those that are still in the country legally must not find comfort. They must go back and face whatever demons that they're facing, instead of letting those who are in Zimbabwe fight alone, because it doesn't make sense. Unless Zimbabweans come together and unite and fight whatever issues that they face, whatever oppression that they face, they're never going to win the fight. But also, we can't sit back and say we want them to be persecuted or face all kinds of problems when we have an ability to help them. So we can use our social media, we can use our voices, we can use whatever we want to use to make sure that the plight of Zimbabweans is echoed, and whatever it is that they're facing becomes less of a burden for the people who are in Zimbabwe. And that is why I'm standing up right now and I'm saying that the government of Zimbabwe must free Begimpilo Mbedzi, because that man is one of the bravest people that I know. He stood there when everyone was busy criticizing South Africa and saying, no, South Africans are this and that. He stood firm and said that South Africans are not doing anything wrong. They're protecting their country. And we must come to Zimbabwe and do the same. And he didn't just end there. He actually came together with Zimbabweans who know what they want and who know what they want their country to be like. And they decided that they're going to set a date, which is the 31st of July, because they want to stage a protest. Now, nobody deserves to be abused and tortured and treated like they're a criminal just because they want to protest, and peacefully, because we promote peaceful protests ourselves. Now we're seeing a lot of, threats and a lot of abuse going to people of Zimbabwe who are saying that they're going to be protesting on the 31st of July. And we've also seen Begimpilo Mbedzi being arrested for that. And it's absolutely heart-wrenching to see Zimbabweans who are outside of South Africa, who are in the diaspora, pretending as if this issue is not happening. So we have to step up and say that there needs to be justice served. People cannot be stopped from protesting peacefully. They're not saying they're going to go there, they're going to start burning things, they're going to start killing people, they're going to start whatever. They're saying they want to make their voices heard in their streets, in their own country. And it cannot be fair that the government does that. And our government is always acting like they're the big brother of Africa. So if you are the big brother of Africa, why are you not going to help the people of Zimbabwe and allow them to protest peacefully by telling Nangwanga to let the people of Zimbabwe protest peacefully the same way that we do here? But it only takes for the people of Zimbabwe to stand up for themselves as well. And we can only support what they start. Because we cannot start something for you and then be at the forefront of it, because you are the ones that know what problems we face. And we are 100% willing to support, because we want Africa to work for all the people in Africa. We only just don't want South Africa to be bearing a burden of countries that it shouldn't be bearing. And I also saw that there's a lot of other Zimbabweans who are criticizing us and saying that we are not going to get involved in their stories. Why are we getting involved in their things and their issues, etc.? And I only have one thing to say. We did not ask Zimbabweans to come to South Africa. You came to our country and you made yourselves our problem. So now if solving the problem means that we have to make sure that your problems are solved so that you can go back home, then we're going to solve the problems. So the day you decided to come into our country illegally and you didn't ask us for permission, you came. We're also not asking you for permission. We're going to solve the problem so that the problems are solved and they can go and solve their problems. Otherwise, if we continue making this about feelings, it'll never be solved. Because a lot of you like saying that this is about South Africans not hating you, and you know the truth. You know the truth. You know that's not even true. You know that's not true. But we are not negotiating anymore, unfortunately. We're just going to do what has to be done because the problem needs to be solved. If we had done this based on how people feel, then I'm telling you much and much wouldn't be standing today, because people have felt a lot of things about us, including extreme hatred. Some people have even tried getting rid of us by all means possible. But at the end of the day, we remain firm on principle, because we know at the end of the day, for South Africa to survive, this has to be done. It's not about hatred, and we are not going to be explaining this anymore, unfortunately, because we can't watch our country crumble while we say and make this about feelings. So Begimpilo Mbedzi must be free in Zimbabwe. And you Zimbabweans have a duty to free yourselves and to stand up for yourselves and your children and their future. There's no other way. That's the only Pan-Africanism that we want.